You can share your screen whenever you're ready. Mounira, you're muted. Yeah. You want to start over again?
Hi, my name is Mounira, and my story is called The Mystery of the Veil, and it has a blog that you'd like to check. And I just want to start with this little audio that really represents my story, because it's very whimsical and eclectic at the same time, and very dark. So I'm just a little bit. So the story starts when our protagonist, that is still a mystery to us, inherited like a piece of the watch, and for instance,
sorry,
at
please
first,
turn the audio down a little bit.
oh
So
yeah,
how
sure.
you can keep playing it, but turn it down a little bit as a background music.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me now good, or should I lower it more?
A little bit more.
I think it's not lowering.
Yeah, okay, should be fine then. Okay.
So I'm just gonna turn it off.
Okay.
Let's see, get the mood. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she inherited our protagonist. I'm just gonna go quickly through the story, like just pitch it, and then I'm gonna go through the modeling and architecture, because this is where I want my feedback. And later on in the final presentation, I will present my narrative in a much more like complex and like poetic way. So a story starts when our protagonist inherits some kind of stopwatch that is seemingly just a normal, peculiar stopwatch with like so many details, until she discovers that it actually has more to it than a stopwatch. This is the first artifact, and somehow it's linked to a place in Lebanon, an area called Tripoli, which is a very beautiful city that we're going to see some videos about. She travels there to unlock this mystery, and it's just the war has just ended in Lebanon, so the second civil war, which if it's 2030, then it's gonna start about right now, and everything is in ruins and things like that. And somehow she the clock is stuck at a certain hour. She decodes the stopwatch, and it opens up to be some kind of a riddle or a puzzle or a mystery that she needs to solve. And there's a map that she also has inside this stopwatch that leads her into different sites in Tripoli. And she discovers that this stopwatch is actually the key to a virtual piece of land that she somehow was given anonymously. And she needs to unlock what's going to happen in each portal to reach that virtual land and unlock the final mystery. So every portal that she needs to go through is a mission that she needs to finish. And these portals are connected with what's called the realm of the veil. So it's where the virtual land is. And every portal is connected to the other. And she can only flows from one portal to another when the clockwatch hologram is set on the shade of this hologram is set the tower is set between the two portals, and then she can go from one portal to the other. So somehow she's still in mixed reality when she's in Tripoli, traveling horizontally between those sites, but she's also connected to this virtual world, and everything is augmented on it until she reaches at the end the virtual world. So this is the site. It's in the city called Tripoli in Lebanon that you're going to talk about more later. This is where she starts, which is the Tripoli clock tower, and she moves all the way to the old city, which is this place. And I'm gonna I've started modeling each piece of land on its own, because like this is just not a very detailed model, but each portal will be completely modeled and then layered above the real image that I'm taking in the site. And that's how we created this augmented world. So we have 5 portals that she needs to unlock, which is similar to the 5 levels of the tower, so she can reach the top of the tower. Each portal is related to a type of cultural heritage that we need to protect, a physical setting, a mixed reality setting, the lead character, the digital artifact that she's gonna give in order to solve this mission, and the digital artifact that she's gonna take in order to solve the next mission. And then there's, of course, the mini plots that are happening, which is like the tasks that she needs to be done in each portal. And of course, there's like an overarching plot that she needs to figure out who gave her this watch, why Tripoli, what's the story behind this mystery, why the portals, everything like that. So the first chapter is called The House of Wisdom, which the type of cultural heritage that I'm trying to save is like books and language, and it takes place in a heritage school that we're going to talk about. The second chapter is Abu Ali River, which is I'm trying to protect the natural habitat, or re-embrace the memory of the natural habitat. Chapter 3, the Lemonade Well, which is ceremonies and rituals. Chapter 4, the Crafts Wonderland, which is trying to protect the craftsmanship and the know-how. And the last one is the Secret Garden, which is elderly people and oral storytelling. So this is we start with the House of Wisdom. So my friend here, Farah, she's taking the shape of the character, so we can see how we're gonna probably navigate in the future when creating the final 3Ds, hopefully again. So
يلا فوت.
This is the first site,
فوت.
which of course I can refer to the 3D model later on, but it's somehow a tunnel, and then at the end of it there's the school, which is an abandoned school. Of course, it's an historic school that was blocked out, and yeah, it's the first portal.
نخبر موتسيك.
Okay. So this is the gate for the first portal, which is House of Wisdom. So just to be clear, I haven't finished 3D rendering or like the narrative of each portal. I just finished like choosing the sites and taking some pictures so you can understand what's happening. So this is my friend here showing how the character will somehow go through this place, which is an old school. And this is actually the gate of the school, but it was like, of course, like just blocked and things like that. And it's very similar to what you would get like post-war also when something is in ruins. So there's like some kind of fabric that she needs to go through. So she goes into this gate, and like there's a huge library, a magical library, and then she goes through the mission. And then we have second Abu Ali River, this is like the portal that I mostly have like very concrete research about, and a timeline and everything like that. And I can like read you some of it in my blog. But the story is that there was a river called Abu Ali River, and it was like Tripoli was like Venice before like the 50s and 60s. And then somehow there was like many floods, and the last flood in the 60s was killed around like 600 people, and the water just flew through the souks, and like many people drowned and died. And like the water came even up to the roofs of their houses, and people started swimming in the streets. And then they decided to do this ugly project, this construction, and instead of trying to fix like the problem, which is like having like a dam or something to collect the water and then like pull them into like aggregation and things like that in the city, they expanded the tunnel and like made this huge concrete construction all over the city, cutting through the old souks and destroying every souk on the way where the river passes through. So this is the river right now, and somehow this is our character. Like she will be like in contact with the spirits of the river, and she's gonna like go through them also. This is still under construction.
Of course, adding the image.
So the third portal is the lemonade well, which is, if you can see my character here, she's standing by this lemonade well. So this is when you pass by, you don't really consider it as anything, and you don't know why it's called the lemonade well. But it's actually, it has a deep-rooted history where in every celebration and every ritual, they used to fill this well with freshly made lemonade. And as she goes through this portal, so every portal has a narrative that I didn't talk about. So I'm just talking here about the architecture and things like that. But for example, this portal, she went in through it, and then the sweet lady gave her lemonade juice. And as she put it on her lips to drink, it turned into dust. And then she asked the lady, why did you give me a lemonade that turns into dust? And she tells her, well, okay, we used to serve beautiful lemonade here, but we can't anymore. Everything is turning to dust. And then there's this tree. Why is the roof not working? Okay. So yeah, as a part of the history, they used to fill it in lemonade, and they still do it sometimes, right? For example, this picture here. And as she goes through this portal, she actually sees this tree. So it's a symbolism of filling it with lemon. And the reason behind the lemonade turning to dust is because the lemons are rotten on the inside. And she somehow, because she unlocks the river mission, she brings back some water from the river and then feeds it into this tree, and then somehow like the tree is alive again and giving like beautiful lemons. Like this is some type of the narrative and how they're connected to each other. So the fourth portal is the Crafts Wonderland, which takes place in a building typology called Khan, which is a structure that used to have like vaults all around it, which is a rectangular place. And merchants from all around like the region would come, and then like they would sell their merchandise on the first floor, and they would live on the second floor. So this will be like a crafts wonderland where she goes into it, and then it's like it's all populated by crafts and like soaps and things like that, based on what actually happens in the real world, which is this guy who actually is in this khan, like up here. He lives here, his work here, and this is his shop from the inside. And you can see like there's a whole process to creating soap that is very, very rooted in the tradition and heritage of the Tripoli's craftsmanship. And it's a long process that takes like 2 or 3 months to make. And then they build these like soap towers in order for them to dry. So I was thinking of like taking these shapes and then like populating them all over the place in a very like fantastical way. And you can see here also my character interacting with like even copper artifacts and things like that. So how can you take this to like a level that is somehow like fantastic, it's fantasy. So this is this is how we enter the regular place to the portal. So it's like mixed reality above what's already there. Sorry. The umbrella came up telling my friend like move it. So you can see they already built like so, which is really interesting because it's raining. So how will they dry? Anyway, so they built these towers. And it's very colorful, it's very like populated, it's very chaotic. So how can you take this thing to the next level with my portal? Of course, she needs to follow the mission for this craftsmanship. Okay. Yeah, this is me just like some basic 3D modeling for each portal that will then be, of course, used in creating the virtual world. So the last portal is the secret garden, where she meets this elderly woman in real life, which is actually a woman that I know in Tripoli, and then she tells her stories. And the protagonist discovers that she's actually not from the country that she came from. She's actually from Tripoli, and her mother lived here during the war, she and her mother, and somehow she doesn't have a memory of anything about that. And the old woman tells her, like, you need to go to the final place, the virtual land, for you to know the secret or the mystery and understand why you're here and why you inherited this place from your mother and who's your mother and everything like that. So she scans her hand and creates a doorknob out of it. And it actually also gives a tribute to the heritage, where we used to have, like in old Arabian houses, like 2 doorknobs, one for the men and one like gentle hand for the woman. So we know like the person who's knocking is a man, so probably a man should go open or talk to them, and a woman, like, she can also go and interact with the woman on the door. So she scans.
Mounira, you might need to wrap up soon so we can have more time.
So this is this is the render. My friend helped me a little bit with Blender. So you can see the fabric. So this is the veil in the background, and this is the clock tower, also modeled in 3D. And this is the virtual land that she reaches at the end in order to transcend into something called the luminous ground, where she will meet an AI version of her mother and like ask her all the questions that she has. And you can see her. I'm not sure if I can zoom in, and yes. So you can see here the spirits that she met through the portals are actually like dormant and sitting, waiting for her to come. And each mission that she solved is attributed to a level of the tower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until she reaches the clock gate and enters into a different world. How do I zoom out? Okay, cool. Yes. Yes, so after she opens up, a parallel world opens up, and she goes into something called the luminous ground, where she meets her mother. We can talk about this later because I'm still figuring out the ending. So something that I want to talk about, other than the symbolic elements, I want to talk about like the potential of this project. I didn't go through the narrative. So every portal has a narrative that I have written, and the characters, everything. I didn't go through it because I want to focus on the modeling. So let's start with the fabric physics on 3D model. I will open the Unity file. So a lot of fabrics. So the story has a lot of fabrics, because I use fabric as we already talked about this before, as a main like civic teleportation tool. So between portals there's fabric, and we're going to talk about this. And I saw that they use this fabric a lot in Tripoli, this type of texture. And I'm not sure if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen in Unity?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I tried to put the latest model, which is the Blender file. Yeah, but Unity was gonna explode. So this one with the platforms. So we're just gonna go with this. And if I wanna play as a first person point of view, so you know, like 3D modeling in Rhino and things, we don't have like fabric physics. So I was like, we can model in Rhino, just like did with the tower. And then we can go through, if I can zoom in here, 1 minute so you can see. We can go through the fabric in Unity. Sorry, I'm not. Okay. And this is how she can go from one portal to the other, and it's disappeared. Interesting. Okay, so if I go into the tower, you can see the screen here below. Sorry. No, don't do this.
I think that's okay. That's a good demonstration.
Yeah, okay, but you get the idea. So.
Yeah, just be conscious of the time, since we don't allow enough time for comments.
So this is for the fabric physics, and the things I want to talk about also is the photogrammy. I don't know. So yes, photogrammy or something like that, which is I talked to someone who's gonna Is my screen froze?
We're looking at the WordPress.
I'm going to make a quick comment meanwhile. I'm just going to do my comment meanwhile. I don't think you need all 5 portal to support your narrative, because your narratives, like, I mean, the thing you want to propose is clear. I think you should just, like, for the time being, when you have like 8 weeks to design a project, you need to frame your project to be somewhat doable. I think you can just do 2 to 3 of the portal. I mean, yes, you can say your narrative and whatever your frame can contain 5 of the chapters and 5 portal, but what you want to actually do it to your project to show it, I think you can just give it to 2 to 3, but then you have the time, because now you don't have to make all 5 portal or visualize all 5 environment. You can just make 2 to 3, show the difference of this 3. Maybe there's a 3 type of environment, but then now that you have less things to do, you can put more quality into just 2 to 3 spaces you want to create it, and that's it. And secondly, on more of a technical comment, you could do something AR. I'm going to share you two link, and let me on chat. So the first one is from Asset Store from Unity. So it's a free asset. Although it's a portal asset, although it's set VR, but in the project, when you download it, it contains VR, non-VR, and also AR. You can use this to create a mobile app from Unity, hopefully Android. And then you can also use this, so Viforia, to do to run it as an AR platform. Sorry, putting this Pocket VR with Viforia into like a I don't know, like because eventually you can have your phone open up, and then you have your portal place it there, and you walk in, and then here's your environment you created, you designed it. It's quite easy to, so there won't be any coding need to do this VR thing. Sorry, this portal thing. It's all in the asset. It's quite handy. Let's see.
That would be great.
Just make sure Unity version somewhat matches to this Unity version you mentioned here, 2018 1.0 or whatever, 2018 or 2019 you use.
Yes.
Can you go to your Unity file real quick, a Unity project file? Can you go to your Unity project, or is it
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. How did you do the fabric? Did you code it?
Yeah, no, I found a script, and then like I coded into this fabric, but it's a ready-made component, and then you edit it a little bit. But it's not opening, and Chrome is not opening, and PowerPoint is not responding.
And what did you say? Why did you say when the tower put in from Blender to Unity, it breaks or what? What do you mean by that?
No, I wanted to. So the Unity file that I showed you only has the tower and the test for the fabrics and some colliders that the first person can interact with. But I wanted to bring on the real virtual land that we created in Blender, which has like the sand dunes and the platform and the spirits, like all 3D models, and even the veil is a 3D model. But my laptop just didn't want to.
Well, you can try to export it in parts. So like export the tower, export the platform, and not everything together, and export it in FBX for sure. You can include the texture, but I don't know if something is breaking your Unity. So you might want to, like, if it doesn't work, take away all the texture, just export the model, put it in Unity first, and then we import the texture in, material in.
Yeah, probably that was it, because like there was a lot of components and objects and like child components inside the model. I think it was like some kind of a block that would be much easier to interact with. I want to show you like one more thing, but it's nothing is happening.
Then also try to reduce the mesh, reduce the poly count on your model before you put Unity on it. In terms of the physics of cloth, you might want to try. Because apparently the one you just show it doesn't really work. It breaks. So just look at another way of using.
It's the first time it breaks. It's the first time. So I always like play with it. But I think because I have also another program open and like PowerPoint and something like that, it's the first time that this happens to my laptop, and I think I need to restart. because I still need to show you like, that's okay. I can show you. So this is a 3D model, but it's just the surface. It's a something called photo. I forgot the word, but photogrammy or something like that.
Oh,
so
you scan with one of the latest iPhone with the I think.
Photogrammetry.
Yeah,
photogrammetry. Bravo. Okay, yes, this is it. So yes, so I talked to my doctor this model, and I talked to him, and I will scan like my portals also, and have like the character like walk between these. I want to show you it, but it's not working. So I'm going to show you just the window that I was scanning, but probably also it's broken. Perfect. Nothing is responding. So this is just a window of my dorm room that I was scanning. I wanted to show you where it reached the model, but yes, nothing is working. Yeah. So if you can start with the feedback, it's okay. Until the final presentation, maybe everything will be working more properly.
I wonder if I can help like stop sharing or like stop video or something. Would that help? Let me just try.
Meanwhile, do any tutors want to give the comments now?
I think it's beautiful. I like the richness in your presentation. With all those videos, really help us a lot to understand your site, your city, and with the materiality or this background.
This was your comment last time, that you didn't understand the city or the site. So I made sure like I go and try to take these videos from even like a shoulder first person perspective. So I have videos where my character turns around and I turn with her with the camera. But they're too long for this presentation. I think Zoom is not responding also. Oh, wow.
I've got some comments that I can share.
Yeah.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can't see, I can't do anything. So everything just stopped. I think I need to restart my laptop, and I can't even hear you or see you. So I'll just restart my laptop. Okay. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
We wait till she gets back?
We can. But Alan, do you think hype?
Sorry?
I think Moni was getting mad in the background. Anyway, so the hyper reality project, do you think that's a good visual reference for this project? I also feel like the project is less high tech, right?
I'm not sure though, because so basically what I was going to say to her, I'll still say it, is like, one sec, I'll share my screen again. Where are we at?
Maybe she's stuck. She can't stop or end the meeting, and she cannot do anything to her laptop.
Like, one sec, I'll turn that shit off and put it back to normal. Like, I don't think it necessarily needs to be, I'll just push pause because you guys all get the idea. I don't think it needs to be like this saturated, but what I think she could do is exactly what Herman was saying. Like, you don't need 5 portals, you need 1, and explain that 1 very well. And then I'll understand that you did the other 5. And she's got these nice videos, and there was like one image that she had where she clearly, like, I don't know what she did it in, maybe Unity or something, but it was kind of green and it was like overlaid on top of an image of
yes, I'm back, but from my phone, because my laptop is still working. So
cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So if we were just talking about your project, the only comment, so for starters, I really love the narrative, and I can honestly say I feel your connection to this project. And so one thing that I thought could be a good reference, this is up for you and your tutors to decide, is this hyper reality video. This is more of a commentary on a graphic style and the way that you talk about your narrative, because I noticed that you had a bunch of videos and then simultaneously these kind of new reality images that you've put together, whether it's the tree or whether it's this garden. And I thought that you could potentially take one of those videos that is of the portals and do like a short clip that maybe is akin to this in essence. It doesn't necessarily have to be so saturated or so populated, but it takes into consideration, the first person narrative. You can use the footage that you already shot and just overlay one or two key aspects of the virtual reality that the portal takes you into. And I thought this could be a reference for how you might decide to go ahead and do it. But most importantly, I think Herman is right. I don't think you need to do every single portal. I think you should focus on one that you really like and design it and articulate it correctly and as best as you can. Then you can briefly discuss the other ones and say, these are other portals that exist. But because you've already shown us that one works, we will believe it. Then the others, work in progress. But yeah, that's my comment to you. And just as a potential reference, you can use the footage that you already have and, start to overlay the information.
Thank you. I think we've already talked with Ben about, I was trying to be ambitious to try to at least have a 3D model of all the portals. I would try to do that. But as you said, like the whole like AR and things like that, probably it's going to be for one, maximum two, because already the one portal, each portal has a very rich narrative and history and timeline that is related to the mission. So if I want to talk about all portals, I need several days. So as you said, it's going to be probably one or two portals. My laptop is still restarting, by the way, so probably I can't show you the last thing. It's okay.
Nice. I think, like all of the tutors agreed. It's important to detail one level. And if you look at video games or narrative-based virtual experience, they never really have the full thing on release. They always have release and patches. I think you could focus on detailing your level 1 of the tower. And then once you have everything, it's very easy to make the rest. And for the 3D model, I think it could be, just like how you say, it could be more diagrammatic. And once you have the concept, make it into a small diagram, and then it becomes like a trailer for the next one, but not necessarily with all the details. Have you also seen the Free Guy this year, Ryan Reynolds? I think it uses the same kind of hyper-reality graphic, but then the person lives in the game, which is also similar in a way to your narrative, where the person feels like the reality that she grew up from feels like a simulation in a way, where she at the end she could travel to another plane.
It's a Netflix movie, Free Guy.
The Free Guy that just came out this year. It's the cheapest Hollywood movie with the highest, I think, because they film everything on set and then overlay the digital information on top, and it became like a video game theme, but it was the same kind of graphic that Ellen shared with the hyper reality.
Cool. Okay, thanks, Ben.
Yeah, I think you can really just enjoy doing one of the portals or one of the levels first, as you are familiar yourself with the software and then different tools. Maybe by the time you get to level 2, you will already like discover a new software that can really do what you want to do in your project more efficiently and also giving you better results. So I guess I think, and then if you agree and you take on this strategy, you will end up with a very well put together project. You can also look after the graphics and then the whole presentation. Maybe just a little bit more on the presentation. I think the background music in the beginning was really nice, but it was just too loud and we couldn't hear what you say. And maybe you want to still incorporate the background music in your final presentation, but just try to make sure the audio is better.
Yes. Totally.
And
I still haven't done a proper presentation, so this is only just dumping my ideas last minute, honestly, as in terms of presentation, because I'm still like experimenting with different like softwares and things. It's something that I didn't still show you the scanning. So yeah, for the final presentation, I must have like a well and thorough like narrative put into a very nice presentation. Maybe
exactly.
a little.
That is your project as well. I would say photogrammetry is fun, but you also need to look at the whole project. I think it's very important. And for the videos, since you have already taken the time to go into the city and film those materials, I guess you need to curate them properly. If it's not too much to ask, you can do that as well.
Yes.
I don't know, like learn a bit about that, like put a filter, maybe like adjust the audio so there's no like outburst, some points, so that you can really create a very rich experience in the 10 minutes or 12 minutes of your presentation. That people can learn about your city, the issue that you're taking on, and the project, and then how you approach that as an architect. I think that's really interesting.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, keep going with all you seem to have many interests, and that's good. And you are also able to already like show some trailers, let's say, and we can start to imagine a little bit about your portal or your virtual worlds. It's quite cool.
Thanks.
I think we are about time.
Yeah.
What you're saying?
I was asking for the final presentation, is it also like 10, 20, 12 minutes?
Yes, unfortunately, 10 to 12 minutes to present your whole project. That's the challenge.
That's very sad.
But that's not the only format that you can present your work, right? You have your blog, you can upload it to YouTube, or you can share it in other venues or something like that. Yeah, but usually you'll get to learn, like, usually people don't have the patience to really sit in a presentation for more than 10 or 12 minutes. They just space out.
Yeah, it's a good habit to get into. So you package different priorities of information, where the first set is to have a general overview, and then you have the details plugged within. Yeah, it's once you have some project that's really big and dense in information, you start to, it'll be harder for people to stay focused in the project. But if you have like a general overview, then it's very easy to understand, and people can read more if they're interested, and that will catch more people's attention. It's just like a general presentation skill that we are all training.
Yeah, exactly. We're all learning to present projects in 10 minutes.
So I fixed the laptop. Can I show you like one more thing? It only will take less than a minute.
Okay.
So the experiment I will show you is actually based on the 3D models that someone I know have done. And he's agreed to mentor me on doing that. If I can do this for like one portal. So this is actually from Tripoli. It's a Khan, but it's a different one than the one I need to scan, but the same like typology. So you can imagine this is all like a 3D model on Sketchfab. And you can go through it, and the character can walk through it, and they'll like have the AR, even if it's not a video, maybe this could be in Unity or another 3D platform like Blender or something. So this is also a 3D model of like an area. Maybe it's very similar to the gate of the school that I showed you. So then I can like take whatever position I want and like lay the artwork above it. Same thing here for this like corridor. And I tried it. I'm very skeptical if it will open. It's for the last time. Okay. Yeah, let's not take this risk. So this is what I wanted to show you.
Cool. Yeah, we look forward to seeing the whole thing, this kind of journey visually.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
True.
you, Mounira.
Hello, True. Are you there?